Hello, friends. I found a void in the internet that I wanted to fill here about dual sport tires and mousses. So what we've got here is the Pirelli Scorpion XCMH front tire. They make a rear also, both DOT legal, and it's one of the more aggressive tires you can get. Back in the day, this was the talk of the internet, was MT43 rear and the XCMH front. And this tire here on the left has about 2,500 miles on it, and the tire on the right has about 50 or 75, mostly street, a little bit of hill climbs and jumping and dirt, but mostly brand new. One street ride on it. This one's still got the mousse in it. I just put new mousses and new tires since I had them both. Here's the mousse that came out of the rear. They go from being completely round to more like a hot air balloon shape. You can see the dent over there where the rim lock was. Still looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's no delamination or hot spots. It did shrink down quite a bit, and the tire was kind of loose on it, so it was feeling a little sketchy on the rear. And there's the rear tires. Pirelli MT43 Trials rear tire, a new one, and one with about 2,500 miles on it, maybe a little more than that. And you can see that the used one's pretty well worn out, and the new one already has a little bit of wear after one ride. Of course, there were a lot of wheelies and ripping it up on the pavement, and every time I accelerated was pretty much full throttle. But I got a new set of mousses in there, and as they wear down, this tire gets softer and softer. It's a pretty squishy tire. It works best, a lot of people say 5 psi. This mousse, will break down to be about 10 to 12, and still I haven't really wanted more traction. It's a low impact tire. It doesn't dig big chunks and roost real well. It just kind of stirs up the surface a little bit, but really good, kind of an all-terrain tire. It's got a pretty flat profile. As you can see how it wore out, it's real flat. So it's good going straight. You get a lot of knobs on the ground, and I guess I'd say these are both kind of a hard terrain tire, meaning that the terrain's hard. That's the XCMH's mid-hard. So, it's designed for rocks and roots, pavement, and compared to the XCMS, which is the mid-soft, and that one's more of your soft terrain tire, which means it's better for mud and sand. So here's the front again, different angle. I really like it. I think brand new set on there. It felt great, really. No complaints. I kind of was a little easy on it before I started leaning it, but it's pretty good street traction for how little pavement you have there, or how little contact patch you have, and really good off-road traction. Never worried about the front end slipping around. Goes right where I want it. One thing I'll note that this is a big diameter tire, so you can't really see down in there, but when I first got this bike, the tires were pretty much brand new, and they were rubbing on that fender thing in there, and so I lengthened the chain by one link or whatever, 2 links, and moved the tire back. So basically I'm at the end of my adjustment there. If you put these on other dual sports, you might have that same kind of problem. I have to put a longer chain on, but there it is. Once it's done stretching, the chain will pretty much be the same length forever, so shouldn't have to adjust it too much. And these were the older Nitromousses. They only had one, I think, at the time that I ordered these, and it's the platinum, or a 10 to 12 psi. Now they have the softer ones. I got the harder ones again, and they're white now instead of black. Came with some kind of different lube. I had a couple extra tubes of lube from the first time, so I put them in there, but as you can see, it's still plenty of lube on the tube. I never added more, never did any kind of maintenance. plenty of lube down in there. You can see I damaged the bead at some point, putting it on or taking it off, but didn't affect my performance any. I've got I think it's the Tusk version of the Rabaconda, no, Moose Racing version of the Rabaconda tire changer, and works pretty good. It took me about, say an hour and a half with a dinner break to do the front and rear. They tell you sometimes with new tires and new mousses it's pretty hard, but I just have those bead buddies and just throw a couple extra tire spoons in there across from where I'm going to end up, and just take little bites. And once you get down to that last few inches, just use the tire changing stand to push that bead down into the rim. And then I will go around with that tool and just kind of, if there's a part of the bead that's stuck in further than it should be, I'll just kind of go around the bead on both sides and push it down in and kind of let it relax back to where it should be. And I haven't really looked again, but I know the rim locks were still tight. There's my rim lock there. And I just have like the long cap covers on it, and it looks like the beads are set up pretty good on there. And the beads set up pretty good on that one too. So there you have it. Pirelli Scorpion XCMH front, Pirelli MT43 trials rear tire. Yeah, I'll say that's a popular front tire choice for the TW200, and it's a pretty soft carcass. It flexes pretty good. Once they get a little worn out, when you ride behind me, it looks like I got a flat tire because it's so much tire on the ground. And yeah, I've made it up hill climbs I never thought I'd even try on the T-Dub, and even when this thing was mostly worn out, I still had a TW200, and I did the same hill climb, back to back on both bikes, and the T-Dub, I made it like halfway up, and this thing I could have ridden up, indefinitely. So I think it's a good tire choice. I know there's a lot of options out there, but if you want the aggressive, trail-oriented off-road tire, XCMH and MT43 is worth a look. Thanks. Have a good one.